Hey people, welcome back for another edition of the Jagged Edge. This is Ian here along with Chris.
What's up, everybody?
Coming right off of our War of the Planet of the Apes review. You can check that out here on our channel.
Yeah.
I think Chris, you caught it late last night. I caught it earlier today. Pretty solid film. I mean, I know you weren't as engaged in it because we could talk.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was all right. We could talk all day.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Money's worth.
Yeah, we could talk all day about, I think, some of the predictability factors and everything. But hey, if you enjoyed the first two films, if you want to see how this one caps off the trilogy, hey, I think it's worth checking out.
I'm going to spoil it a little bit, though. And I was not expecting Superman to show up at the end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, and then the part with Zod and, and Darkseid, man.
I mean, it felt really out of place, but, yeah, still.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't tell everybody that DC had the rights to this. So.
Well, and then the Care Bears showed up.
Yeah, and the power of, Earth, wind, water, fire, and heart.
The power of heart and the power of friendship.
All of the above, folks.
I don't remember. Did you have a Care Bear?
I didn't. I'll tell you that the bear that I had growing up was Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh, okay. That's the evil one that you put a recording in, right?
Evil one?
Couldn't you put in a heavy metal tape and then he'd lip sync that?
I have no idea.
You didn't try that?
No, man. I didn't have any heavy metal tapes laying around at the time. Man, when I was that little, any other tapes, my family was all about smooth jazz and Michael Jackson and stuff, man.
Did you ever put a Michael Jackson tape in there?
Pretty sure I tried to. I don't remember the result though. I think. If I can remember right, I could have sworn I thought I got audio, but I don't think I got the whole sync thing. So I don't know.
No, it's okay. That movie's okay.
Yeah,
yeah, it's all right. It's no Alien Covenant. It's not.
It's not Alien Covenant. It's true.
I think that is going to be the low point of movies for this. I think honestly, I'm not the only person that says it's not Alien's Covenant. That's all right. Well, that's okay then.
And the other one with movies, of course. We were saying at the end of our other segment, we'll be looking at Dark Tower, also taking a look at Atomic Blonde. That comes out. But I want to ask, you just mentioned Ridley Scott. Going off the rails here, sure, we were off with Alien Covenant. Do you think Blade Runner's shaping up?
No.
Man.
I wanted to. I really do. I don't think so, though.
Could be a rough year for some of the Ridley Scott classics.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see it. We'll review it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've got no hope for it. And maybe that'll be better. Maybe having nothing but bad expectations is going to make it better. I love the first Blade Runner. That thing is.
It's a classic.
It's ingrained in my childhood. I remember sitting on the floor watching TV, watching HBO. Way too young to be watching. 6 years old. Maybe. I'm sitting there with my peanut butter toast, just watching Blade Runner. I'm just I don't know what the hell's going on, but this is awesome. I know there's robots and there's laser guns, and that guy just shoved his head through the wall. What?
Hey.
Yeah, so maybe if I take some peanut butter toast with me to the movie theater. Everyone's looking at me weird. It's got a loaf of bread and peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter.
Toaster.
You do that, I'll get my almond butter toast. We'll be even there.
And they'll be and I'll be like, hey, I gotta plug this in somewhere.
It's do you have an outlet? Anybody have an outlet? No.
Do you have a toaster at least? I can use your toaster. That would be awesome. Sit there with my peanut butter toast.
Well, we got there's a lot of low expectations around for those, but there's something.
Did you just say we've got a lot of loaf?
Low expectations. What's up with you and the loaves? Go get your bread. Sheesh. Low expectations. Low expectations, really, Scott Films, but there's something that we got really high expectations for that we got kind of hit out of left field. You told me about this. Yeah.
Hours ago, I was working on the notes for the show, and I texted you, I'm like, yeah, we got to push this back because I have to watch this 10,000 times. Star Wars released the Last Jedi behind-the-scenes trailer, and it's awesome.
It's very, very good. I gotta admit, I still got some feels when it comes to Carrie Fisher, But
it's kind of shocking every time.
Yeah, but the fact
they're
that
gonna have to release a trailer that's got nothing but her in it for us to get ready for the movie.
I think so, man. I mean, it's a blessing in and of itself of all that she already contributed beforehand, and that she was such a part of the filming, of this current movie already, and we already got to see a lot of her behind the scenes takes. But man, it's just it's bittersweet every time I see it.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess this happened with The Crow. That was a big one from the '90s.
Oh yeah.
Brandon Lee had died before it came out. Died filming it, which is even more tragic.
Yeah.
So this happens from time to time.
Right.
There was a Chris Farley movie that came out that was very similar. He'd already passed before that finished.
Right.
So, it happens. I still say, kind of getting off the track here, but I still say that they need to recast. Need to put a new actress there. Do not weaken the story by changing it because of her death.
Right.
I know a lot of people strongly disagree with that, but that's I think that's what Carrie Fisher would want.
Right.
Is for them to do that. I mean, she's spent her majority of her acting career building up that character, so
true.
Why let it die with her?
And part of me says, wherever we go with this next movie, by the end of that, I think we'll have some more answers to that. I'm really curious to see how we're going to be set up. For the third movie, I think I'll be able to make more of a conclusion then. But.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's get to this one though. The behind the scenes trailers now.
Yeah.
Let me start by saying that when it's come to the Disney Star Wars movies so far, the behind the scene trailers have been my favorite for the previous. I don't know where I'm making a new word here. The previous two. They have been my favorite trailers. Especially the Force Awakens. That one was great.
Yeah.
Well, no, I can't even say especially the Rogue One was also awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was, and even more awesome once I actually saw Rogue One.
Yeah, eventually.
As long as that took. Still,
you're gonna get it later too. Do you know why?
Yeah, I know. Let's leave that aside for now.
Okay, all right. But this was great. Now, I'm not going to say much about this. And initially, I was going to do like a whole page of notes of everything I noticed about this. Hey, this guy's doing this. This guy's doing this. Rey's doing that. Look at Luke here. And I'm like, you know what? Because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm a big Star Wars nerd. But I wouldn't say I'm an A-level nerd. I'm like a B-level nerd.
Right.
But even then, I could dissect most of what I saw here. And there was so much in this. And I guess for me, coming out of, before I had seen Spider-Man, I was like, God, I'm seeing way too much of this. I'm seeing way too much of this before I'm actually seeing this movie. It's kind of ruined it for me. Right. I'm going to leave it. Everyone should watch this themselves. If you've got any questions right now, I'll answer them. If there's a couple questions that you had about things that you saw in there. But I was going to leave it. I'm not going to point out every single little thing.
Fair enough.
But it's great.
Yeah, and part of it, hey, I've never been in the business of just going whole hog dissecting the crap out of every trailer. I like kind of taking these for what they are. Hey, I'm already really excited about the film.
Yep.
Obviously, I'm going to go see this. There's nothing I'm not going to be dissuaded from that. So it's just cool to know that, hey, this is sort of the direction. This is just some more hints, some more teasers. Awesome. Throw that to us every now and then, and I'm good. I'll see you come December.
There is still one thing I have not seen yet that I really want to see. I want to see Luke with his green lightsaber.
Yes.
Have not seen it yet. I know it happens.
Yep.
And they're not showing it. We do see him in a different outfit in this one. Which has been talked about for a long time. Because a lot of people are like, well, so what, he just wears white now? He used to wear nothing but black. And no. And that's all I'll say about that. You guys should go watch this. It blew up Facebook when they initially put it out. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube and pretty much anywhere else on the net at this point. Yeah, it's great. It does exactly what it should. It does some great behind the scenes foreshadowing as to the movie that you're going to get. Very cool. Still one thing that they are keeping such a mystery about is Del Toro's role In fact, they've only given us an abbreviated name for him. They've said it's DJ. What is this guy doing in this movie?
Beats me, man.
Right, there you go. Are you going to try to look it up real quick?
Yeah, I'm digging around into it here.
Okay. Yeah, so, alright, I'll pop in there. So, yeah, I mean, we know he's in it. It's been widely thought that he is playing some kind of Sith or some kind of dark side welder, but we really don't know anything. I think information more recently has come out that he's more kind of a rogue kind of a character. But yeah, you only see him for a second, and you don't see much.
Yeah, there's only been a little bit of talk about this guy as far as how he shows up as his parents and whatnot. It's believed that he spent some time in the Kanto bite jail. Then there was some speculation on the part of the about Finn. There's some interaction there that he Finn visits the jail and there's some kind of he breaks out of jail as this DJ character. So I don't. It's odd, I think, to slot someone like that in at this point. I have absolutely zero lore basis for this guy anyway.
So yeah, there it is. Very, very interesting though. Yeah, I guess I got nothing
Beats
else
me, man.
now without starting to spoil the crap out of it.
No. Now you got me. Hey, you're calling yourself what? Like B level? I'm like C level. So don't.
You're D. You're a D level.
Hey, give me my C minus. Come on, I deserve a cookie.
Maybe a D plus.
You can be that guy. Fine.
How long did it take you until you saw Rogue One?
Hey, that's just Rogue One. That's just Rogue One. I did good with all the rest. I really did.
All right. We'll give you a C minus for now.
All right.
But now, one thing I will tell you that I was an A level fan for, the New Warriors. Now, we've been talking about this a little bit every now and then. I followed their comic in the 90s from start to finish. I was a huge fan. It was a great comic at the time. There's been additional volumes. I've even got the last one, which only lasted, I think, 12 issues. But there's been a few other installations from then until a couple years ago when that came out. We've been talking about this where Freeform has picked up a couple TV shows, Cloak and Dagger being one of them, New Warriors being the other. Some big news dropped about the New Warriors this last week, and that is the casting, but also the characters that they're going to use.
Yeah. You're closer to this one. Maybe honestly, the only one I really recognized and got out of this whole list was Speedball.
Speedball is awesome. They had to have Speedball. They had to have Speedball, and they will. So here's the thing. I mean, a lot of people were upset about this. I have to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of this either. But we're not getting New Warriors hour-long Netflix show. We're getting a 30-minute live-action comedy show on Freeform for the New Warriors. I knew that whatever we're going to get, it's not going to be like Daredevil. It's not going to be like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hopefully it's not like Inhumans, which is not looking good because one of the producers for Inhumans is going to be working on this one. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. There's a lot of casts, as with any big, with any comic book group that has had any amount of success. With the New Warriors has had a lot of success. They had a 7-year run, and then they've had various installments up to then, or up to now. You're not going to get all the characters that you think should be in there. Like right away, I know I'm not going to get Nova. Right. I know I'm not going to get Firestar. She's part of the X-Men group over at Fox, so you're not going to get that. I think Marvel Boy, a.k.a. Justice, is in the same boat. They're not going to bring Darkhawk in yet. But, there's a lot to choose from here. I think what kind of ticks me off the most is that out of all the characters they could have picked, 2 of these characters have never even been in the group before. One of which is understandable. But anyway, so yeah, we get Night Thrasher, who's the original leader of the group, who from what I've been reading, is not going to be the leader this time, which is kind of weird. You get Night Thrasher, Speedball. Those 2 are staple members. They've been around since the beginning. Then you get Microbe, who came in, I think, with Volume 3, along with Debris, also with Volume 3. And then you have Mr. Immortal, who I've never even heard of before, who actually just sound like an interesting character though. But and then you have Squirrel Girl, and everyone's heard of Squirrel. You've heard Squirrel.
Oh yeah,
Girl.
oh yeah. Although.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no! Although there is a part of me when I hear Squirrel Girl, I think of one of my favorite PS3 games, Blaze Blue, because there was a very close relation there. But go on.
I don't know a thing about what you just said.
Okay.
But I knew Squirrel Girl was going to be in this. They had announced that early on, even though she's never been a new warrior before. Whatever. Okay. Mr. Immortal, I've never even heard of him. There were some great picks. I get why they don't have some of the characters in this group. I knew this was going to be kind of a bastardization of the New Warriors, anyways. Because again, this isn't an hour-long superhero drama. This is a 30-minute comedy.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm gonna watch the pilot.
Sure.
They got Night Thrasher and Speedball in there. I'm happy about that. They had to be, at least those guys. I'm sure we'll get some more in as we go. The only other noteworthy thing here is that the actress for Squirrel Girl is the AT&T girl.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, from all those AT&T commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
how'd she end up here? Did she? I mean, she didn't just do commercial spots for this, right?
No, but she's also in her 30s.
There you go.
So these are, the New Warriors are teenage superheroes, but whatever. Andrew Garfield, I think, was like in his 70s when he played Spider-Man.
40's the new 20, and 30's the new teen.
30's, yeah.
I guess.
10. But okay, so these other characters, Micro Debris, Mr. Immortal, they are barely even D-level characters. Kind of the thing about the New Warriors when they first came out was they were taking these characters that had at least at some point a good amount of popularity that weren't really doing a lot in the Marvel universe anymore. Nova, for example, Firestar, who had even been in the Spider-Man cartoon. But they just weren't doing much. And they threw in a couple new ones besides. Some of these characters were around for like 6 issues in a comic and then died.
Man.
Yeah, so I think they could have made some better choices. Obviously, they're trying to form a group here for synergy for this comedy show. Yeah, I mean, what do you, from an outsider on this one, what do you think about this?
Yeah, the sort of where my mind automatically goes with these, and I know this is bad, but when I sort of hear of the more fringes ragtag groups, I keep thinking of Suicide Squad. I know this isn't what this is per se, but it feels sort of like the setup for that. It's hit or miss. I think that all these have potential to be really, really cool because we're in this whole age of being in a Marvel renaissance, so to speak. Not just like reboots and rediscoveries of characters, but also introductions of others that maybe didn't really even have a big role before. This is a great chance to do that. I'm always for them. I think it could be something awesome and heck give me a lot of knowledge or just delve into characters that I probably would not have gone to read about otherwise. So cool. Hey, more points. But yeah, I can't say I'm as geared for it as say like, next Avengers or something like that. But
well, yeah.
I mean, sure. You're probably gonna have to poke me with a cattle prod or maybe a needle or something, but I'll check it out. Like, just let me know when it's out, because I'm not gonna look and know when the date comes.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you won't.
I really try.
I watch this. I watch the Marvel has earned. I'll watch the pilot. I'll watch the first one. They've earned that.
Sure.
But I don't know. I've got a feeling that maybe just because I'm older at this point now too, that this is really not going to be aimed towards my demographic.
Right.
That being said, I don't think it's going to be aimed very well at all to begin with. But hey, New Warriors, pretty cool. It takes me back.
Cool. Very cool.
So now, speaking of taking you back.
Oh man, let's not go back to Castlevania.
Well, we made a big deal about this, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We made a big deal about Castlevania,
and we might have blown some hot air here.
It came out last week.
Yep.
We didn't even notice it's because Spider-Man. So
yeah.
So we didn't even, I remember I texted you Sunday night. I'm like, hey, Castlevania came out, by the way.
I was like, oh yeah, like I was like, frick. Like, I'll look forward to talking about it. But then I went and checked out episode 1. Look, this just shows I didn't make it beyond episode 1 yet. All right, like I didn't actually, even though it's only 4, I didn't sit and blow through all of it yet.
I sat through it. 4 episodes. We got a teaser. We got 4 episodes. We got a little feeler, a little bit. They've already ordered a second season. So basically, we're going to get the other 8 episodes for season 2. It's going to be about a year, though. Your feelings on this?
Honestly, as I was saying, I think a little earlier on, we were speaking about it just kind of off the cuff. I had high hopes for it animation wise, because I was looking at some of the studio talent involved and stuff like that. As I said, I thought, hey, for what it was, at least like the kickoff, I said, this looks pretty solid. The animation looks pretty tight and everything like that. But I think as you go on, what really actually solidified it for me, you had me jump ahead a bit. You're like, hey, check out the fight in episode 4. And then after sort of doing that jump and then seeing, well, there's some frame inconsistencies there, that part of it sort of fell in my book. Honestly, overall, though, story-wise, it really didn't draw me in. I was never a really big Castlevania player as is, and even so, even without the gaming background, even without the whole Castlevania background, it's just, it doesn't make as much of an impact with me. The last thing I can think of that was along the lines of, more mature series or manga series that had semi-horror elements was a Japanese series called Gantz. I didn't like the way it ended either, but it flowed a little better than how this started. But Castlevania though, man, can't say it really had a huge impact on me so far. I'm kind of ambivalent here.
All right, so those of you listening, I just want to make sure you understand that's the good cop.
Yep, I'm the good guy in this. So
I'm the bad guy. This thing is trash.
Boom, boom, boom.
It is trash. This is horrible. I don't understand how people say this is great. I can understand some people, I'm a big Castlevania fan. I love seeing these characters kind of brought to life and getting fleshed out a bit. I can understand that. That's not what I'm even seeing, though. I'm not bandwagoning into this. This is, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I mean, considering the basis of what we have from Netflix animation, some of which is intentionally poor animation, but when it comes to this kind of fantasy style, you're looking at Voltron, which is just top notch.
Which is very good.
Yeah, it's just great. Now, this anime style, I'm not a fan of it at all. This was almost every single thing I hate about the anime style of animation. The only thing that was missing was the crazy, the eyes get all crazy and huge when something shocks them or surprises them. That's the only thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
That's the only thing it was missing. Besides that, it hit the checklist of everything I can't stand about animation. The quality is poor. The frame rates are inconsistent. Even the quality, as poor as it is also inconsistent to bad to worse. The acting is horrible, and there's no reason for for bad voice acting in this case, because this is American made, and there's no bad dubs here, but the acting is just complete trash. The script is horrible. The color palette's really bad. It's just across the board, this thing is just, the characters are garbage. There's nothing good here. The only thing that was cool was at the end of episode 4, the fight between Trevor and Alucard, and that's just because I remember Alucard vividly from one of the best games ever made, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is, I'm sure, why most people were tuning into this. This thing is shit. It is a stinky, smelly pile of shit from start to bottom. I was very disappointed. I knew it was going to be an anime kind of style. We knew that. We knew that going in. But again, having seen Voltron, I'm like, well, yeah, but I love that. That's great. And that's because there's quality there. There's heart put into this.
Right.
This seems like kind of a cash grab. I think in theory,
that's fair. I mean, but isn't that always the fear with adaptations like this? You know, there are, man, very few to any like really successful, hey, gaming to series adaptations.
Right.
I mean, the very nature of it always feels short lived and not, you know, full throated inspired.
I think there's a couple things about this that really bother me as well in particular. One is the style, just overall the style, which I think a lot of people like, but there's absolutely no reason why, what this takes place in the 1700s, 1800s, something like that. There's absolutely no reason why commoners of your poor town look like they've been working out.
I thought
they've been hitting the gym, and none of them have a gut.
Even before that, like it was like, whoa, the beginning was like 1400, like 14.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. We're in the 1400s. Yeah, 1470 something. That's right.
Same rule applies though. I mean,
right. I can't stand that for something that we were told was going to be gritty and real. No one looks over the age of 40, unless it was like the bishop guys, right? The people from the church, because old equals bad. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah.
I can't stand that. I don't mind the gruesomeness at all. That actually works well in the context of the story of what they're doing. But it's like every single time they were swearing, it's like, you know, it's like shit. You know, it's like put the extra emphasis on them. I just swore. Trevor was the worst. The actor for Trevor, the voice actor for Trevor, needs to be taken out and beaten in the back of the yard. That guy was so bad.
The little I heard, it sounded like his level was kind of low.
I almost didn't make it because of him.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's like it's almost like Netflix is like, we hit it out of the park with Voltron. Let's see how bad we can do now. I won't be tuning in again. And I think the icing on the cake is porno star Dracula.
Oh man!
I mean, seriously, and someone listening to the show, correct me if I'm wrong. Did he have a mustache in Castlevania before? Have you ever seen it?
I thought he did.
I've never seen porno mustache Dracula in my life. Anywhere.
I could have sworn he did.
I missed it.
Here, I'm looking at it.
Can you just see him biting into somebody's neck, and they're just thinking, "Oh my God, he's drinking my blood." It's like, "Oh, those whiskers, they're tickling me on my neck."
He did. To be fair, especially like the white-haired version. Yeah, he did. Like goatee stash.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that being said, okay, so I'll correct myself. I have seen goatee Dracula before. I have seen that one, so I guess that technically counts as a mustache. But I had not seen that before. Dude, it just looks like something on a 1970s cartoon or porn star or something. It's ridiculous. It's in all seriousness, it made it very hard for me to take it seriously. How do you feel about it?
It wasn't the mustache that threw me out of it, man. Like I said, there's I always know if I'm going to get into a series from the first episode or so, or first couple of apps, like how interested am I? You know, what does it do to either garner interest from either the characters or the plot or the storyline? And hey, I mean, coming into this, I'm looking for some education on the Castlevania series a bit, because I, miss that. Maybe I'm naive, to be looking at that or be wanting that and somewhat from the series or some extra lore or history, but really not a whole lot to keep me here. Like I said, it really didn't have much of a kick or an impact, and I'm not pulled in. So,
and he's the anime guy, people.
Hey, I'm watching close thing to like action I'm watching right now is like One Punch Man. Like as goofy as that is, as fun as that series is, I'll watch that over this any day. So,
it was bad.
Yeah.
I think my comments to you before the show have kind of dug in a little bit, because you seemed a little bit more positive about it before the show.
Well, I was saying, I pretty much said the same thing. The only thing I really had to comment on was like the animation thing, which I thought had a pretty solid start. And then you said, hey, skip that episode 4 thing. And then I did. And then I see what I see at least is like the imbalance in that. Now we're actually talking about plot itself, and I'm not pulled in. I mean, I don't think I ever mentioned anything about how interesting I thought like the main story was, or what I wanted to learn. I don't have any of that here. So
I would love, in all seriousness, I would love to hear people who feel the opposite as how I do about this. I would love to hear how why you feel the way you do about this series. It's very short-lived so far. You're going to get 12 more episodes at least. I'd love to hear why you're so excited about this, why you like it, where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. I'm dead serious. Post comments or give us an email at ksaw. Is it ksaw?
Yeah,
what's our email?
ksawmedia@gmail.com.
It's ksawmedia@gmail.com. I've never emailed us, so. Yeah, so let us know. I'd love to know why you like this, because I was surprised so many people were so supportive of this. I remember going on comments and I was thinking, oh, they're going to trash this, and most of them were like, this is the best thing ever.
What?
Oh my god!
I'm feeling
it's better than my virginity.
I mean, you talk. No. You talk about vampires and stuff. I just feel kind of drained. This one, as I said, I saw way less. I jumped ahead and saw that segment, and then I saw the beginning. But like I asked, okay, what is there now to make me want to watch the rest?
Did you mean that as the pun, by the way?
No.
When it comes to vampires, you feel drained.
That part I did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
And you caught it.
Did catch it. But you know what? So trashing, we're done trashing that. You know what is awesome? And I wonder if you've seen this or not. I don't know if we've talked about this. It was announced this week, the release date for Stranger Things Season 2, October 27th this year, which is...
Oh.
Have you seen Season 1?
I have not. I'm in the dark on that, man.
This guy, this is all good stuff. Watching One Punch Man, but missing Stranger Things. I don't get it.
Yep.
You need to watch that. I'm not going to say anything more because I harassed you about all the time, and then you almost didn't watch it.
You're right, I almost.
which you would have been sorely disappointed in yourself.
True.
I would do decades from now. You would have been in your deathbed. I would have been holding my phone up to your face, making you watch Voltron, and be like, "See what you missed." See what you made yourself miss? I knew you would love this.
Oh, man.
Stranger Things is a great mini-series. It's a great story. That's all I'm going to say. It takes place in the 80s. It's got to do with little kids in the 80s coming across something scary.
Good stuff. All right.
You got to watch that. But, I think it is arguably heralded as the best series that they've come out with, depending obviously on your taste. Some people would say it's some of the Marvel stuff. Some people would say Orange is the New Black. For me personally, Stranger Things is up there and even beats some of the Marvel shows that have come out. It is really just very well done. It's a great series so far. I was thrilled to hear that they were giving it a season 2. That thing owned me the night it came out. I remember actually going through Netflix. I'm like, what's a Stranger Things thing? Next thing I knew, it was 6 in the morning.
Whoa!
I just kept going. I watched it all. I just kept going.
Wow.
It's pretty good. All right.
Cool. Ben Affleck, the Batman script.
Yes.
This is. If I'm looking at this right, this is out the window.
It's done.
Wow.
Done. Matt Reeves, he got rid of it. I guess, it sounded, initial reports of this sounded a bit harsher than they really are. I guess it makes sense. Warner Brothers is kind of changing directions with the DCEU, so with that, they don't want to do the movie that he had written. It wasn't just like, oh, you're not director or writer anymore, get the fuck out of here, and take your script with you. No, it's, obviously Ben Affleck's still going to be playing Bruce Wayne / Batman, but Matt Reeves look, we're going with the new direction here. We're scripting something new. Yeah.
It falls in the whole narrative of what we've been talking about with DC and the, all the different turnabouts about the stories and the drops and the pickups and then the restarts and whatnot. There's still a chance to have things in path. We got Wonder Woman, that was solid.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that next.
still wondering if Justice League and everything else is going to stick in that same pathway. But hey, all right, roll the dice, see what happens.
Yeah, just whatever. I mean, ultimately, that's where I am with DC now. It's just like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah,
we'll see. We've heard all this stuff, but we'll see.
And meanwhile, on the Wonder Woman front,
that is kicking some serious ass. So I was doing some researching on this, and she has been breaking some records.
This is wild. Like the worldwide box office are, man.
750 million worldwide now. Currently just beats Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 for the highest grossing movie of this year so far. I've got a feeling Spider-Man is going to beat that, though.
I think
Star Wars will definitely beat that. But currently, hey, the fact that you can even take that title at some point during the year.
No, that's an honor. I mean, that speaks volumes to the response we've had coming off of this. So.
By far and away the highest grossing movie by a female director. I think also, well, obviously a female lead in a superhero movie, but that's kind of obvious. Let's see, but the biggest thing is that for superhero movies, Wonder Woman now holds the best audience hold numbers than any other comic book movie in the last 15 years.
Wow!
Which means that it has sustained making a lot of money.
Wow.
Done better than any in the last 15 years, any of them. Avengers, The Dark Knight, previous Spider-Man movies, it has beat them all.
That's nuts. That is nuts. Man, and in our review, we talked about all the reasons for, I think at least a lot of the reasons that gives this so much staying power, at least why it resonates and whatnot. Hey, go Gal Gadot. I can say as much as we herald Linda Carter being the classic Wonder Woman, I'm really happy that we have a current Wonder Woman that we look to now. It's like that you just see that person like, all right, I don't care whatever else they play in, that's Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. That's cool to me. Man. Yeah.
So I think. Well, I don't know. Maybe some people knew, but I have to tell you, I didn't know that. Looking at all the movies that have come up with the DCEU so far, that Wonder Woman would be the cream of the crop.
Right? I mean,
I knew it would do well.
Right, but it really
it would do well.
It just surprised me so much. I mean, especially when we talk about Nolan's Dark Knight, which was, that group of movies was arguably probably some of the best stuff I've seen out of DC prior to this. But wow.
Kicking ass.
Go Wendy.
So it was that it?
Man, no. There's a couple things real quick before we jump into the con that's coming up. Mentioned this a little bit beforehand. Not too sure where it's going to go. There is some talk for that upcoming Venom movie about an appearance by the Bride of Venom, aka Lady Venom. Now, I had no basis for this in the original comics. I never even remembered reading anything about her, but she's apparently Eddie Brock's ex-wife. She temporarily inherits the symbiote, and there's some notes that we could be seeing her making an appearance in the film, as well as Carnage as one of the primary villains. The Lady Venom thing, I say go for it. I know so little about that plot. You could cast that dice and go wild with it. There's all kinds of reasons the symbiote could become separated from Brock temporarily anyway. And alongside with that, anything you bring Carnage into is going to be awesome. Normally, he has a certain gravitas about him when it comes to like Spider-Man and Venom stories and stuff. He's just outright sadistic and probably one of the most hardcore villains in that continuum. So.
No, it's great stuff. So, hey, what do you think the origins of Venom's going to be in this Venom movie?
Oh,
do
man.
Do you think it's going to be outer space, or do you think it's going to be out of spider blood?
Boy, good question. You know what? I'm going to bank more towards the whole bloodline thing that they put on. They allege this in Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm leaning more towards this angle. It was in Ultimate Spider-Man. It was a suit that was created to help heal ailments, diseases, wipe cancer out of people's bodies and things like that. It was never fully mastered. It got out of control and ended up forming basically a parasitic relationship. I think it would be really cool to have it as sort of more of like a scientific base, or give it like an Earth origin. The space thing, I mean, inner plot device 36, right? I mean, you can think of whatever meteorite or whatever comet or something randomly arrives on all day. I think we've seen that a lot. I know, at least for me as a fan, how refreshing it was when I was reading Ultimate Spider-Man and I found out that, oh, that's the symbiote they're talking about. Holy crap, that's a really cool way to introduce it. And it had its own history between Peter's father, Brock's father. I'm not looking for that side of it as much, but end of the day, I hope it's more Earth-based.
Really? See, now I'm thinking the opposite, and I really want it to come from outer space. I want it to be so cheesy, corny, space. I want it to be on a space alien wearing the symbiote when it gets to Earth. I want it to be so cheesy.
Cool.
The problems with Spider-Man 3 when it came to Venom wasn't the origin. It unfortunately just has to do with what they did with the character after that. They had the wrong actor for it, and they showed the actor's face way too much. I forget his name right now.
Oh gosh,
who's a great actor, by the way, but he was horrible for that.
Yeah, he is. But as you said, every 3 seconds, hey, don't forget, I'm Venom. Wait, remember, I'm Venom. Just saying.
Yeah, it's horrible. But the whole thing with how they animated it, it coming from a comet or whatever hitting the Earth, I thought it was great.
Yeah,
and I want to see that again.
Cool. And I mean, that is the long-standing basic canon for it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little. I don't think jaded's the term. Maybe that was just worn on me a bit by this time period. But I won't fault it if it is cool, because that's very well established in canon.
I want it riding a comet.
Oh my gosh!
In like a cowboy. I want it like with a little cowboy hat. It's like, yeehaw, a little symbiote swinging around his hat and crashing into Earth.
If that happens, I hope somebody lassos you. So
that would be great. And then I want Venom to be just like the Mask. No, I don't want that.
No, please.
I got that impression in my own head after I said that with the cowboy hat. I was like, yeah, there we go.
See?
No, I don't want that.
Oh my gosh.
But he better be funny sometimes, because sometimes Venom is very sadistically funny.
Oh yeah. And that's always been part of, I think, the fun and the draw of, especially with Venom. It had his own series. Reading that, his twisted sense of justice. It's not all just dark, brooding, monologues. Some of it, there's some pretty funny quips, because I think he's just pretty practical about things.
And half the time he didn't know he was being funny.
He didn't. There's that, and then there's like some Deadpool-esque moments. So we'll see how they translate that. Cool.
All right.
Well,
so hey, it's time for an
Info Minute. This week, again, I can't quite tell you about how the whole shark thing turned out, but do you want to talk a little bit about
Inside Shark Watch over here?
I'm watching it. I want to see how this one is. We didn't get to see the pizza, who ate the pizza bikini or whatever. So I want this one to end. I don't have closure yet, so something's got to end, for goodness sake. But anyway, well, you know that bad feeling when you're just maybe in a public restroom and you can't find any toilet paper, or you're worried about it. Maybe someone forgot to stock or whatever else. Well, you could be a lot worse off. Turns out that in China, a couple of cities, there are officials that are pushing to save cash on toilet paper in public restrooms by, and I quote, using facial recognition technology in each stall. Specifically, this has been installed at the Fuzhou and the Fujian provinces. Public restrooms, workers go to refill toilet paper, but it gets rationed out depending who's actually in the stall. So here's how this works. This machine actually uses facial recognition software to identify the user and vends exactly to the T 27.5 inches of toilet paper, the maximum allowed by the machine. If you're still in there and if it's looking at your face, you're not getting any more toilet paper. Doesn't that suck?
When you started, and you're like, man, you get that feeling when you're in the bathroom, and I'm like, wait, what? Where is he going with this? The ending to that, I never would have suspected, was facial recognition software.
You know,
I mean, is China like having a problem with like a shortage of paper, or what is the why? I guess the why.
Well,
and why does looking at and recognizing people's faces while on the can? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I think the population issue, right? I mean, you gotta save somewhere, but this seems like a really strange place to save. I mean, this is.
Oh yeah, you don't cut on poopy pants stuff.
No, this is basic. This is a real basic necessity. Luckily, this isn't mass spread yet. It's only in a couple of provinces, but for goodness sake, like so
what if you bring your own toilet paper? What's it do then? Does like an arm come out and like slap it out of your hand?
I don't think there's any penalties. In fact, it might be a good idea to bring your own. I mean, at that point, I'm actually sitting here. I got a tape measure, and I'm looking at. If I had 27.5 inches of toilet
that's
paper,
just over 2 feet.
Yeah, it's just over 2 feet. If you had to divide that, you better use that careful.
Is it double ply?
Oh man, there's no word on that. I'm gonna assume single. I'm gonna assume single. Come on, if you're trying to cut costs like that,
you really got a foot.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like 3 pieces.
So the next time you're at least low on toilet paper in a public stall, count your blessings. At least it's not getting metered out.
So is this like kind of in the testing phase right now, or is this the direction they're going in?
It's more of a test, and that's why I'm saying that, because it hasn't been mass implemented all over China. It's a move that city officials decided to push first in a couple provinces to see how much could they save, where could this go? But as far as in mass, I don't have anything mass implementation of it. There is a little clause here. There's one other thing that officials have said, that a user has to wait 9 minutes before the machine will allow them to get another length of paper. The system has cut the exact amount of paper to be used up in restrooms by half by doing all this. Apparently,
so what if you're having a problem,
right? You're up the creek, man. I hope you brought some toilet paper or something. Or
not to mention the fact that the whole scenario completely makes you look over the fact that something's watching you and recording you in the bathroom. Yeah, which maybe is the point of it all, because I gotta be honest with you, what would immediately make me forget the fact that I'm being recorded while in the stall is the fact that it's determining the amount of toilet paper I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Chinese, man.
I gotta admit that the off the wall news has been fun lately. I'm looking forward to each week.
This is crazy. I don't know. I guess if I ever go to China, I'm walking around with a roll of toilet paper.
Well, you'll be all right if you go to like in Beijing or like Hong Kong or something. Just stay away from those provinces. Don't go there.
Yeah.
Fuzhou, Fujian. No.
Yeah. What are they famous for besides being dicks about the toilet paper?
Beats me, Chris. Beats me. Oh man. There was actually one other news topic I did want to mention.
Oh my God, are we getting a double header?
Yeah, we are, and this is, to be fair, this isn't part of the info minute, but I guess it is a place where public toilet paper, public restrooms, where they should not have a problem with toilet paper. That is the Comic-Con that's happening next week.
Oh, look at you segueing. Hidden segue.
Hidden. Hope you watch for it.
I gotta tell you, I mean, I see most of your segues coming. I was not expecting you to come from Chinese bogarting toilet paper to Comic-Con. I didn't connect those dots.
It's a series. It's a series of tubes. All right.
The series of tubes, and again, are you using that because we just got done talking about pooping?
Absolutely.
Oh my God! Comic-Con. Next week, Comic-Con. That's the show. I mean, in fact, I think when we do the show, there's still one more day left. It doesn't go the full week, but I think it does go up until and through Sunday, doesn't it?
I think so. It'll still be ongoing, sort of a la E3. Didn't that have a similar format?
Yeah, but I know by the last day, that's like when they're doing, that's when they're doing the Sci-Fi Channel stuff, and that's when they're doing My Little Pony, and so it's like, hey, it's got its niche audiences, but
is what it is.
Yeah, the last days when they get a couple more panels going, but basically you look out the door, you can see the janitors cleaning up.
Nothing happening. But
yeah, Comic-Con next week is going to be all about that. Probably going to be a really long show. I'm going to be geeking out about all kinds of crap.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Neither one of us have ever had a chance to go to a Comic-Con directly.
Not yet.
Not yet. The closest thing I've got is PAX, the PAX events, PAX East in Boston. Yeah, I know it's on the other side of the U.S., but point aside, these are awesome events where you can usually count on some really sweet reveals for everything from the comic movie world. A lot of happenings with some of our favorite series, characters, and there's a lot of not just directors and whatnot, but you have a lot of actors themselves. This takes me back years ago. I think back to the Amazing Spider-Man series by Sony. A lot of that was revealed at Comic-Con. Andrew Garfield talked a lot about his experiences directly and did a lot of his announcements right there in the show floor. So who knows what we'll see.
He was such a champ for that series.
He was.
He was pushing it hard. And I kid about him a little bit because he did look obviously older than a teenager, but he's a good actor. He did his best with that. Especially the second one, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was the costume was a perfect looking Spider-Man.
It was. It really was. It is enough blend of the classic Spidey we know with that slight newer twist to it without making it look weird or like one of the alternate costumes. So well done.
Yeah, no, good on him. Yeah, but you're right. I remember that now that you bring that up. That he really loved making a lot of announcements. He was very excited about it as well.
Yeah,
kind of almost raised the bar and set a new standard as far as what you get from these things. So, next week, time to geek out all next week. Is that it then?
That's it.
Week? All right. Watch that behind the scenes trailer, people.
Yeah, please tune in. Of course, keep building the hype leading up towards December. That's going to be glorious seeing the next Star Wars movie. We've still got, of course, some other really cool things to knock out before the year's out, not just this month included. Later down the line, there's Thor Ragnarok and a few other goodies, so stay tuned. We're going to be checking out all of that good stuff. But until then, thank you so much for tuning in. You have a great weekend, and take it easy.
See you next week.